How's it going, guys? Girls, hope you guys are in a great week. So we're back today to actually talk about some of our most excited games that were showcased at the Summer Game Fest, Sony State of Play, and Xbox Showcase. I apologize that this is a little bit late. I wanted to get this up earlier in the week, but unfortunately I've had a flare up in my neck and I just haven't been able to sit at my PC. But I have Dante today. Hey, Dante, say hello.
Yo, hello internet. How you doing?
Hello, internets. And we're just gonna. This is a nice sort of casual discussion. It is not a blow by blow of everything that was announced during the Summer Game Fest because
Too much.
like there was a lot of games that were announced, but it is the things that we were interested in and things that looked cool and exciting for us that we want to obviously showcase and talk about. So we're gonna do this in cover the main three showcases that we got, which was the Sony State of Play, Summer Game Fest with Jeff Keighley, and the Xbox Showcase. Those were the big three. So we're going to cover them today. We're going to start off with the Sony State of Play. Personally, it was okay. Like, it was an alright showcase, but there wasn't much first party content there. I was kind of missing a lot of first party content, really. I was very disappointed by what they showed with Ghost of Yote.
Yeah, just another tease, which I felt like we already had that cutscene before.
Yeah, like if you saw me on stream, the look of like disappointment and the anger that just came out in that moment, because they could have just done like a trailer, like a 3-minute trailer with some gameplay showing, right, and different locations and things like that, rather than having like a pointless cinematic. But we did get information that obviously Ghost of Yote was not showcasing here, that they're going to be doing their own sort of specific state of play, focusing down on that game, and that's going to be in July 2025, so coming out in July. So I'm very much looking forward to Ghost of Yote. I loved Ghost of Tsushima, so I'm sad we didn't see it here, but I definitely am going to be tuning in for the State of Play in July, and I'm really looking forward to it. So what did I like that was showcased? Well, the first game that I kind of liked the look of, which looked really cute, was Hirogami. So this is a indie title, I think, from Kakehashi Games, and it's really cute. It's like Paper Mario, right? But it's like a platformer, like a 2D/3D sort of platformer, where you play a main character called Hiro, and they have the ability to morph into origami characters, right, and shapes, which give you different abilities. So I think you could warp into like a frog, which gave you like platforming jumping abilities, and you could warp and you could warp into like a bird and stuff like that. It looked really, really cute, and there is actually a demo on Steam available at the moment, which I'm absolutely going to check out. And I am probably going to be doing a Steam Next Fest highlights video some point next week, hopefully. But yeah, that game looks really cute. It looks really adorable, and it's coming out 3rd of September, so I'm really looking forward to it. So that was probably the first thing that I was like, yeah, I definitely want to play that. That looks good. It looks cute.
Cool. I like the look of that Sea of Remnants, which that kind of pirate.
Is that the pirate-y one?
Yeah. NetEase and Joker Studio. I thought it was Sea of Thieves to begin with.
It's Sony's answer to Sea of Thieves, isn't it? Clearly,
yeah. Although it's done that kind of, because all the characters seem to look like those 3D doll figures that artists use sometimes. They've all got the hinges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it looks really interesting, and I'm curious about it. I saw another video, and it was like that you could talk to NPCs around town and such, and spare or kill certain enemies after battling them. And yeah, it looks way better than any of the pirate games that have recently come out. Anyway,
interesting. Is it multiplayer? Can you play it multiplayer?
It looks just single player to me so far.
Because that would be that's part of the enjoyment of Sea of Thieves, is like having a crew, right, and like sort of manning your ship and going on the high seas and pirate hijinks and all of that. So I like the idea of choice and consequence though, and like choosing who to save and who not to. That sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
But a pirate game, I'd like it to be multiplayer. If I'm honest. So
I can't even see on the Steam page whether it mentions multiplayer. So it seems not out yet. Yeah,
I guess it's one to keep an eye out on.
It's next year anyway, so they might reveal more later on.
Yeah, definitely. Other one I really like the look of was Sword of the Sea. This is
Mm.
from Giant Squid, which is the team that brought us Journey, and also
Abzu and the Pathless.
Absu and the Pathless, that's right. And that's coming out 19th of August. And God, that game looked just so gorgeous. It like they're just very good at like getting movement really right in games.
Yeah.
When I played Pathless, I loved it. Like the movement and the how you can get in this kind of flow state, as you're kind of playing. I find those games like really atmospheric and really like relaxing and very zen. I love it. Just good music, gorgeous art style. The art style looked absolutely phenomenal. And it just looks gorgeous. It looks really, really nice. So I haven't played Absu, but I've heard good things about it. So it is a game I am interested in, and I am gonna sort of tell a guilty secret, which is I haven't played Journey, but I do own it. But apparently it's only like 4 hours long, so I might just boot it up one evening. Maybe I will play their games before Sword of the Sea comes out, because it's out on the 19th of August. So I've got June, July, part of August to
Yeah,
play
just
their
keep going.
games. I think it's very doable. So yeah, but that definitely is. It looks gorgeous, and I'm very much looking forward to it. There isn't a demo out on it at the moment, I don't think, which makes me a little sad because I would like to get hands on with it and just experience it. But it's coming out on PC and PlayStation 5 as well, which seems like a lot of these games are coming out on both PC and PlayStation 5 on release.
Mm.
So it definitely seems that Sony's going that way, in terms of their releases, which is a good move. It's a very good move, I think. So yeah,
Mm.
Sword of Sea was definitely one I was looking forward to, and it looks interesting.
One I thought was I'm more interested on how it's gonna work. Is that Tides of Tomorrow? Because it was that one where you kind of see the choices and movement of online other players that are playing.
Oh, yeah, that looks interesting. I don't know how that's going to work though.
Right.
Like, do you just see
Yeah,
people's failed routes and they give you hints?
yeah. Or it's like why have they gone down there? Oh, there's treasure here,
Right.
maybe,
Or like can
or
people build things or put things down like a little bit like Death Stranding, a little bit like Death Stranding where people could like
oh
leave messages and routeways and stuff like that. It looks
yeah,
interesting as a concept, but yeah,
yeah.
but then it,
Not
it looked like it had much more of a story than I was expecting. Like as
mm.
it started to progress the trailer, I'm like, oh wow, this is like a full-on story. Like, yeah, it looked
We've
interesting.
got actual plot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
surviving on a troubled ocean planet. It's like, okay, what we're gonna do with this? So yeah, curious how they're gonna mix in the multiplayer element,
Mm.
even though they don't really affect you, but it's like you can see what they've done and
Mm.
maybe choices they've picked. Yeah, so I'll be curious how that works.
Yeah, sounds interesting. I
Mm,
think the other one I'm kind of interested into is Pragmata,
mm,
which is obviously from Capcom. Capcom like are on fire, like at the moment, like
mm. They're
they're
doing good.
having a good like decade, effectively, between like the Resident Evil remakes and also like Monster Hunter Wilds doing really well. Pragmata looks really cool, and it's coming out next year, I think 2026. We got to see more gameplay. So you play as the main
Mm.
character, obviously, a guy called Hugh. It doesn't
Fine.
really fit him, but it's fine. And then he's got this like AI companion with him, sort of I don't know if she's a robot or whatever she is, but nicknamed Diana because that's not her actual name. Her actual like robot name is like unpronounceable apparently. So they nickname her Diana. But it looks kind of interesting, and I'm all for sci-fi. Like I am very
Mm.
much feeling this like sci-fi need at the moment. I'm hankering for a good sci-fi adventure.
Mhm.
Most definitely. We've certainly had our fill and fix of fantasy, in the last few years, and we've eaten well. But I'm hankering for that next sci-fi, and
We'll
yeah, it looked
get
good.
we'll get the Expanse game.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I've already done a video on that, but that goes without
Yeah.
saying that I'm super hyped for that one. It looks awesome. But Pragmata, like I listened to a little bit of people talking that got hands on with the game, and it isn't what I thought it is. Like, it looks like a third-person action shooter, right? That's the way the trailer made it seem, that you were fighting these like robot enemies, and the girl was on your back, you know, and you were using guns and that kind of thing. But apparently Diana, like, the enemies, that you can't hurt them until like Diana does this little like hacking mini game right in the middle of combat, and we do see this little flash up and then it disappears very quickly. So for me, I'm curious the dynamic of how that's going to work, right? How much is it going to slow down time? How tricky and complex is that mini game going to be when you are in the middle of combat and trying to dodge these attacks, you know, from this robot? So I like when developers try and do something new and different. So I'm kind of all for it not just being your typical sci-fi shooter, you know what I mean? And I like the fact that Diana's going to have this role to play, not just in the story but also in the gameplay. I'm all for that. You know, I think that sounds really cool.
I can't even imagine how it works. It's like, is she purely using the D-pad or something? So while you're doing your normal controls?
I've got no idea. Yeah, well, I mean, basically there's no point shooting because your bullets, whatever you're using, they'll just ricochet off. So it's to take down their shield or something like that. So you're probably doing a lot of dodging while also keeping an eye on the mini game and trying to do whatever those are. And hacking mini games can be like love or hate sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like they can be hit or miss, most definitely, especially in sci-fi. So we'll see how complex it is, or if we end up getting frustrated. I wonder if you can also like change the difficulty of those hacking games. Maybe there's going to be accessibility features where you can tweak that a little bit more, you know, if you wanted more of an action kind of thing. It'd be interesting to see what they're going to do, but Pragmata, like, I want to see more. I don't think we got to see enough of it, really. I almost feel like they were almost hiding it a little bit. It's like, why didn't you just show it? Like, why were you hiding it to make it seem like a more action focused game? Are you going for that broad appeal, and you think that's going to appeal to more people, right? Like, I always get a little bit suspicious, should we say, when like marketing people are just trying to show the game in a certain way. You know what I mean? And it's like, just show the game as it is, right? And then we'll make our judgment on it, whether or not we're interested. But I am intrigued, and it's set on like a lunar research base, like, so it looks a la Prey, I guess. So it looks kind of interesting. Very much looking forward to it anyway, and it's coming out next year, so not that far away, which is cool. The other one, obviously, that we got announced was 007 First Light. Like, what's your take on this, Dante? Like, what are your views on like a younger Bond?
Younger Bond, I think I'm okay with. It's a bit odd because, like, to get your 00 license, you're generally supposed to you get your first kill and all this and that. And this game, you're gonna be killing by the thousands, like Lara Croft or something. But it's also built. Yes, IO Interactive, right?
The Hitman guys. Yeah, and you could definitely see elements of Hitman in it, like from the stealth gameplay and the crouching and the, like, you know, and infiltrating certain things. So yeah.
So I can see it being very, like, what was that recent Hitman game they did? And where you could go about missions.
World of Assassination, is it, or something like that? Yeah.
So it'd be all like, all right, throw the distraction over there, or poison this, shoot that guy, hide the body here, and all that.
I can't see James Bond doing that. It's going to be a lot more action focused. He's not an assassin, for Christ's sake. No. But also, I wonder if this is going to be, because he's young. He's like 26, right?
Yeah.
So the James Bond that we are used to is much more experienced, much more suave, right? And more action, knows what he's doing. He's got the situation mostly handled, you know what I mean? Got all his gadgets and got all his gizmos, and he knows what he's doing. We are used to that kind of Bond. Whereas this is like a Bond, I think he's just out of the military, and he's in MI6, right? And he's doing his first kind of proper mission to get his 00 license, right? So it's an origin story. So it has the potential to be really good, because this could be like a completely bumbling Bond, right? That's just like, in the thick of it and just shit goes wrong, right? And he's just got to, maybe he hits the wrong gadgets or whatever, who knows. But I don't want to hit, I don't want the young kid to young kid like I'm an ancient old person, but I don't want him to like play him as suave, as charismatic, as like a ladies man, because I think at this age he's not going to be that, you know what I mean? And so like I kind of want to see him become that, obviously. So in some ways I'm interested, because I think it could be a very interesting opportunity, should we say, to show a side of Bond that we haven't seen before. But I'm not gonna lie, I am a little disappointed that we're not getting an older Bond, right? Because if you're thinking James Bond, you want to be that kind of like older, suave spy, you know what I mean? So yeah, and the guy, I have nothing against the guy that's acting him, but other than to say he looks generic as fuck, like he really does. Sorry, my dude. But he just does. He doesn't come across as Bond, you know what I mean? And even the cast, I think there is going to be like Moneypenny and M and Q, right? But they seem a bit too. Q seems too old for how young Bond is, right? Like
you remind me of a young Nathan Drake.
Exactly. So, and Nathan Drake is fine though, because Nathan Drake, when he's older, he's still a bumbling fool that like somehow miraculously survives situations he really has no right surviving, right?
What?
So
yeah, I think it might end up surprising you and working, because it'll be straight out of the Navy. He'll just have that kind of experience, and then he's going into the whole spycraft and trying to get the license and all that.
Yeah.
But as you can see, he hasn't quite got the suave down yet.
No.
Not even introducing himself. I think it looked like the Moneypenny styly character almost finished off his quote of James Bond.
Yes. I guess we'll see. Yeah,
and totally blocked his flirt in there. And then I thought it would be more Batman Year One style, where he doesn't have all the gadgets, but it's like, oh no, this is showing us he's going straight in and mucking around with them. Probably gonna mess him up.
I mean, it's gonna probably make for some amazing set pieces, you know what I mean? Because spy and Bond, it should be fun to play, you know what I mean? Hopefully, you know. They've just got to get the characterization right, I think, and especially someone who is British, you know. And James Bond is a large part of our, you know, sort of heritage kind of thing. You know, it's that and Harry Potter and other things. But like, you know, as a Brit,
do it right,
do it bloody
Ian
right,
Fleming's coming back for you.
or the king will have you if you don't do it right. You'll bring the queen back from her grave. like seriously. But I hope they do a good job on it anyway. Was there anything else on Sony State of Play that you were interested in, or not so much?
Well, I know you weren't interested in Baby Steps. But
God, no. I get that people are looking forward to it, and I'm happy for those people, honestly, but it's not my kind of humor. It's not my kind of game. I just don't find that kind of humor. Toilet humor, I don't know why. I just don't find that kind of humor funny. I never have done.
It's like they crowbarred it in even harder this time.
Yeah,
it's
It always comes across as really forced to me, which always makes it seem a little awkward. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and I don't know, like the demo is on the Steam Next Fest, and I have downloaded the demo, so I might I'm going to give it a shot, you know what I mean? And then I can say I've actually played it and what I think of it, right? But yeah, the trailer didn't do anything for me.
No.
And I know a lot of people like, that was the best thing they showed. I'm like, really? All right then. Sure.
Well, I might finally be able to play Final Fantasy Tactics, because they issued the remaster on that, so that's kind of cool. And that Silent Hill F kind of looked creepy with your doll scary monsters and all that, but it's like, oh, that actually kind of looks good. It might be.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Apparently, my facial reactions to that stream were quite funny. I need to go back and watch it. But I don't do horror generally, but that probably more than any of the ones that we've seen horror-wise, I could probably get down with more, right? Yeah, I think like melee horror I find a little less scary than gun shooty horror, where you could run out of bullets, you know what I mean? Because it's like you run out of ammo and you are screwed, right? And you panic in that moment and miss your shots. That's why I think sometimes I struggle a little bit with the Resident Evils or the survival horror genre. because I'm
Mm.
so freaking out about running out of ammo.
Yeah.
But if it's like a melee based where it's just dodging and meleeing, I could probably get down with that, right?
Yeah.
So probably yeah, that would be more than any. Sakiko's coming for you. Oh. Well, I am so in. You enjoy, Tiggs. Enjoy. Have fun. Let me know how you get on. Oh my god, no. So let's move swiftly on then to Summer Game Fest, obviously Jeff Keighley, and talk about obviously what we liked about that. First one that I'm very much looking forward to is Mafia: The Old Country, which is coming out on the 8th of August. This is from Hangar 13, published obviously by 2K Games. I've played the first Mafia. I played the definitive edition of the first Mafia game, which was set, I think, in 1920s, kind of like America. Whereas this Mafia is going right back old school. It's like 1900s Sicily, right? Love the
Right.
idea of a Mafia game set in Italy. Love it.
Yeah. The origin.
Yes, and like the trailers that we've seen, like just the cast of characters, the voice acting is going to be phenomenal, right? And I remember like the first Mafia game, it just having a really good story and really good set pieces, and it was like this just really cool, like sort of fairly linear game, and it's just it was fun to play. It was really fun to play, and so like it looks polished to high hell. It looks gorgeous. Does Mafia: The Old Country, and I'm gonna actually being in Italy and not like going assassino is gonna be really hard.
Impossible.
Yeah, exactly. I hope someone's called Ezio. I really do. But yeah, it looks great. It looks so good, and yeah, like I'm very much. It is definitely a must play for me this year. I'm going to be getting that day one on the 8th of August and playing it, and I'm really looking forward to it. It should be good fun. So yes.
Yes. Oh, the one that instantly made me go, "Ooh, we've been waiting for this." Mina the Hollower from Yacht Club Games. Yeah, the guys that did Shovel Knight. It's a nice action adventure. It's like got that kind of 8-bit Game Boy Color visual, a la Zelda, Oracle of Season and Ages. It's got the chiptune music by Jake Kaufman. He's the guy that did most of the soundtrack in Shantae.
Oh, which you love.
And
So that's going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
right down your street then. Nice.
But
Okay.
he's actually done quite a lot. But yeah, that and
Yeah,
Shovel
yeah.
Knight and other things. It's finally getting a release date on for Halloween.
Nice.
Currently PC only. I really want it on the Switch though because I want to be
Yeah,
able to
feels like
hold
that's a
that.
good. It feels like that's a good home for it. I can see it
Yeah.
coming on the Switch later.
Hope.
Oh, for sure. Like Shovel
Uh,
Knight did gangbusters on the Switch. Like I
yeah,
can't see it not coming out on the Switch.
yeah.
Um,
Be mad not
Being
to.
able to
But
play it handheld and portable, like it's just the game
yeah,
for it.
because yeah, everything, the visuals, the sound, everything. It's like this is a Game Boy Color game, but it's really good. They know how to like um make it feel like it's one of those games while giving it like the more updated vibe about it.
And you played the demo,
Um,
didn't you? Like you just told me you
yeah,
played the demo, so
it's on
yeah,
Steam at the moment.
nice.
So
Okay.
I rinsed that in like 40 minutes
All right.
roughly to
Okay.
get to the first boss, and it's like now get the game when it comes out.
Oh, you didn't
It's
even
like,
get to take on the first
oh,
boss? No way.
no, you do.
Oh, good.
You
Okay,
get
good.
to like yeah,
Because that's part of the
and
game. So is it like a
boss.
rogue light then? Is that what it
No,
is? No, what
no,
kind
no.
of game is it? Dungeon crawl? What is it?
No, it's proper like the old school Zelda games. It's
Oh, okay,
um,
okay.
so this one's kind of like set on an island after a journey via ship, and
Right.
you're basically going to various points, like make castles and towns and all this and that to
Okay.
fix the MacGuffins basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's because it's been overrun by
Very
an
different to
enemy.
Shovel Knight, because Shovel Knight was like a
Yeah,
side-scrolly kind of
that was more
platform and
that
action,
was
Metroidvania sort of style. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas this is
cool.
like the top down
Had a really
kind of.
cool premise though. I remember the writing and I remember it being really funny. like
Yeah,
interesting. So,
both games
yeah,
really good, and they
yeah.
both have the same leveling system. So it's like, oh, you die,
Right,
it's
okay.
mini Souls like you'll drop a
Oh
stuff
no,
in.
I hate that kind of shit in games. That
But
switches me right off from it because I can't do with anything like that. I hate losing my shit. I am a looter shooter at heart. I'm telling you. If
hmm
I lose anything in a game, I'm salty as hell. Like,
it,
I'm really
this
bad.
game, this at least has more ways of saving your coin, but you get to
Right.
keep most of it.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So next one I really like the look of. There was a lot of really good co-op looking games at the Summer Game Fest, which made me really happy to see that love of co-op, right? Especially
Mm,
like couch co-op, right?
yeah.
And one of the ones I really loved the look of was Out of Words, which is
Yeah, yeah.
coming out in 2026, coming out pretty much on everything, although it's an Epic exclusive on PC, which makes me sad.
Right.
So I'm probably going to end up getting this game on PlayStation 5, most likely because of that.
I'll
Um,
play it on the sofa downstairs.
yeah, 100%. But yeah, you play two characters. It's like stop motion animation. That is
Mm,
all in at the moment. That is the rage. Like
yeah.
everybody and anybody is getting in on that stop motion animation. And I just played South of Midnight like a couple of months ago and absolutely loved it. It was gorgeous. But yeah, like it looks awesome. It's like a two-player co-op kind of game. So where you sort of working together to solve out puzzles, to progress
Mm,
the game and things like that. It definitely gave me vibes of Split Fiction. Like it
yeah.
really did seem like it could be definitely a competitor to Hazel Light Studios. And I love that when other studios inspire each other to make new things. And so it looks really cool. The premise is cute as hell. Like you play as I think it's Kurt and Karen, I think are the two characters. And it's based in a fictional place called Vocabulantis, which I love because obviously Out of Words, right? I don't even think they have mouth, so
Yeah, the mouths are covered up
the
for some
mouths are cut
reason.
it up. So I'm like, is there going to be no voice acting? Is it just going to be music and like a silent kind of movie type thing? I'm very intrigued. I'm very, very
Yep.
intrigued. Yeah, exactly. Which is going to make communication even harder. So yeah, I'm very intrigued how it's going to work, but it looks cute as a button, and
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to more co-op experiences next year, which makes me very, very happy. So yeah, looks great.
Yeah, definitely want to play that with you. And that Lego Voyages, because that looked cool.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Those two little
It's nice
small
to
Lego
see a
pieces.
chill Lego.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just that game was just vibing completely.
Mm.
And it's nice because like I like the Lego games, don't get me wrong, I really like the Lego
Mm.
games, I really enjoy them, but they're so boisterous and they have so much character, and it's more about the characters of Lego, that you're playing, and
Mm.
crazy scenarios of building sets and destroying sets and things like that in like licensed worlds. That's what we know, for Lego.
Yeah.
So to have a game where it just goes back to the core of like why we love Lego, which is just this like really quiet co-op game where you're like puzzle solving together and just working together to build, to progress. I love that idea. I absolutely loved. I thought the trailer was fabulous. I thought the trailer was
Yeah.
fantastic. And it's coming out late this year, like late 2025. So, not
Cool.
only 6 months away, maybe, like at most. So if it doesn't get delayed or anything like that. But yeah, Lego Voyagers looks so good. It really did.
Mm. Yeah. On the other multiplayer spin, Scott Pilgrim EX had to go for looking at that one. Instantly recognized the characters as it was building up there. I was like, hold on, they're like, yeah, that's that. But yeah, apparently this one, it's that retro side-scrolling River City Ransom style-y mode.
Yep.
And you got 7 playable characters, but we've
7.
only really
Can you play 7 at once?
no, it's
No,
for
it's not.
up to 4
I was gonna
player.
say
but you've
7
got
players, like
yeah,
that Teenage Mutant Ninja
that
Turtles one where you could play like
yeah,
Shredder's
that would
Revenge, was it, where you could play like 6 player? That'd be
that would
insane.
be mad.
Yeah.
But we've only seen like Scott and Ramona.
Mm-hmm.
I like in the old what was it? Scott Pilgrim versus the World that launched in like 2010, disappeared for a while. Complete Edition came out in 2021. That had like Kim, Steven, Knives, and Wallace. But I'm sure somebody on stage kind of mentioned possibly Ramona's X is being playable. I'm not quite sure.
Well, it's X, right? So what's the X
Yeah,
stand
well,
for?
EX. Yeah, is it EX or is it X?
Extra, or like,
Yeah,
or the actual X. You know what I mean? So what does
yeah.
the
So
EX actually stand for?
it seems like a new story. So it's not like, but whereas the Versus the World was based on the Versus the World
Oh,
Brian Lee O'Malley comics and
right,
movie and all that.
right.
So this is just going to be unique. So it'll be curious how it plays, and it definitely. Whereas the first one was more just an arcade scroller,
Mm.
this is more like River City Girls, where you
Mm.
can backtrack and
I mean, I'm totally down to play it with you, and I will 100% play it with you. I really struggle with my depth perception on those games.
yeah,
I really do struggle. I am always like going to punch something and I always end up getting hit. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
just expect me to button mash the entire time, because that's what I'm going to be doing. You're going to be picking my ass up off the ground constantly, but it's fine.
yeah.
so long as you know that's what you're getting. But yeah.
Stomping your ghost back into your body. Just
Exactly.
get back, wake up, wake up.
I really struggle with my depth perception with those games. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like they're 2D, but they're not 2D. I just can't understand it. And it's funny because I've played like way back in the day, like obviously, you know, Streets of Rage and all of that. I played those back in the day.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just can't right now.
I think the main thing that puts you off on these versions is when you lose money for dying.
Yeah.
And money
I don't
is
like
so
losing.
important.
I don't like losing stuff when I die. I hate being punished when I die.
But
yeah.
if it's anything like the previous ones, you need that money to get your upgrades and get your stats.
So you
up
die
and
less.
that. And so otherwise you'll be grinding forever.
Oh god, no.
So
I'm not grinding.
yeah, so hopefully it won't be as bad as like River City
Girls, which is punishing in some ways. The bosses were good though in that game.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So the other one I like, we didn't see much other than a cinematic, but Stranger Than Heaven by RGG. Like honestly, what are these guys eating? Because like the frequency with which they release their games, obviously this is the Yakuza team, right? You know, have produced so many Yakuza games now and spin-off titles like Pirate. Ryuga Gotoku, RGG for short, it's just easy to say. But yeah, like just the vibe of this, like being set in 1940s Japan, it's just not a setting that we ever see, right? Like, and I'm like, is this an alternate reality 1940s Japan? Like, because like it definitely, some parts of it, it didn't seem, it seemed almost like fantastical. Right, in the way in which it was. I mean, this is right towards the back end of the Second World War, right? Like so.
Romanticized.
Yeah, very romanticized. So I'm very interested. Like if like there is speculation that there's going to be like time travel and just crazy shit happening in it. It looks like it is going back to its kind of more action combat rather than the turn-based combat that we've had recently in the Like a Dragon, you know, franchise. So but I'm all for it. I love it when RGG do spin-off titles. Like they just do great. They have great fun with it, you know, because it's not in that core like canon. It's just something completely fantastical. But this looks like it might be its own thing. Like I don't even know if we're going to have the same characters in it, you know, but different incarnations, or if it's just going to be a completely different spin. I kind of hope it's a completely different spin. Because
I bet they sneak the odd cameo or ancestor or something like
that. Maybe they will. But like they do such a good job with like storytelling and story writing and voice acting and cinematics and just fun. Their games are just fun. They just know how to make a fun game, right? And and their games are so polished. I'm always so impressed with how frequently they release these games in such a polished state. But yeah, Stranger Than Heaven, I'm there day one for this game. Like 100%. I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah.
Excellent. I want to give a couple of quick shout outs. That Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree, that was the one with the buff koi fish. Japanese, the silly Japanese.
When I was watching, I'm like, Dante would totally play as the buff koi fish. It would be his character.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it was kind of awesome playing as a buff koi fish. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie, it's a pretty cool
So,
concept. Yeah.
but it looked like it had lots of characters to choose from. So that
Yeah.
was a roguelike, and I
Yeah.
think
Is it multiplayer?
I believe so. Yeah.
Nice. Okay then.
So that might be worth
It's
a
all right.
laugh.
I won't fight you over the buff koi fish. You can play the buff koi
No,
fish. I'll play
there,
one of
there
the
were
other characters.
there were so many other
Yeah.
fun-looking characters.
Plenty
anyway,
of other
it was
options
easy,
in the sea.
Felt that boxing.
Oh god, that was so funny. I was like, what is this, a Rocky montage? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I was like, is this Avenue Q, like in a video game? Like, I was thinking that, like you know, Dirty Puppets, you know, kind of thing. If you haven't seen Avenue Q, man, like, you've got to see it. It's hilarious. It's so funny. I loved it. It was just like so creative and like just so much character. It just seems like Punch Out. It's basically Mike Tyson's Punch Out, isn't it?
It is just going to be Punch Out, yeah.
Yeah. I could see it being like a really short experience, like 4 to 6 hours, right?
Yeah.
Maybe £20, you know, something like that. And you just enjoy the crazy writing and the fun and the antics. And like, I love how his training is like mini games as well.
Yeah.
Dodge the toast, you know, stuff like that. Plunge, clean the toilet, plunge the toilet. Just fun, just fun. I loved it. I just thought it was good. I thought the trailer was fabulous. I was like, I loved it. I had a grin on my face the entire time I was watching it. It was just so good. The other one I had a grin on my face the entire time I was watching it was Mouse PI for Hire.
With the voice of Troy Baker as the hero.
He's in everything, honestly.
He's in all the things.
He's just got to calm down, Troy. Okay, calm down. Give Ben Starr some love. He's already had plenty of love, believe me. But like, yeah, it just looks so good. And it's coming out this year as well, like 2025. Although we don't know yet when in 2025. But yeah, it's cool.
It looks really good. I like all those like 3D environments, but then you've got the 2D rubber hose characters.
Yeah.
It
and
just
the black
blends
and white, it's just the aesthetic of it and the style of it, like 1930s PI. Like, it's definitely got like Cuphead vibes, but it's like a first person shooter. It just looks fun. It just looks really creative and really fun. And I'm definitely looking forward to picking that up and playing it for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely. Speaking of Cuphead, like that Into the Unwell was also all that rubber hose kind of style as well, but that was more a co-op roguelite. Where like, that looked a bit nuts. Don't know if it'd be any good, but it's another from a Swedish developer apparently called She Was a Good Whore.
Tell you, Europe is like, they're producing some good stuff at the moment. Is Europe, and same with Asia, Japan and Korea. And China, like they're producing some. Sorry, America, come on, let's go. Like they really are producing some good stuff, and I liked the Summer Game Fest because yes, we didn't have like big, huge AAA, you know, tentpole titles, but you know what? You don't bloody need them, you know.
No.
And what I liked about it was just so much creativity coming out, and so many different games and so many different styles of games. And I know it's not going to be for everyone, but I like stuff like that, you know, seeing stuff like that. Obviously, we did get one big AAA game, right, announced right at the end, which was a complete troll the whole way through. Like Capcom, like, oh, it won't be here. It's 25-year anniversary or something like that. And then they like not shadow dropped it, but they like showcased it at the end, which is obviously Resident Evil 9 Requiem, right? Which is coming out apparently next year, 27th of February, 2026. You play as Grace Ashcroft, who apparently is the daughter of Elisa Ashcroft. I haven't played many of the Resident Evil games, so I'm not your expert on these games. Ask Edge.
The lore is complex.
Yeah, ask Edge.
Edge and Fish will sort it out.
Edge and Fish, they'll be all over it, I think. Whether or not Edge will stream it, I don't know if he'll do it, because he might not do after his experience with Resident Evil 8 and that god awful baby. Just shocking. horrifying. See, I enjoy watching other people playing horror games. It's weird. It's like watching a car crash. It's like that kind of like you don't want to look away. You know what I mean? And you just want to watch the horror and the death and the and the terrible tragedy that is horror games. And it's fun. It's fun to watch. I get why people enjoy it, and I get that people want me to stream it because literally they just want to tune in and watch me lose my shit. Which I absolutely will. I 100% understand it because I myself enjoy watching other people play horror games. But playing it myself is a completely different situation. Maybe I can get you to stream it, Dante.
Maybe.
And then I can watch it in chat and just enjoy it. Maybe we could do that. I would be willing to do that. Or we could take turns, maybe. Maybe we could take turns. Like you do one and I do another. Or we take turns playing it through together or something. Or we stream it together side by side, so I'm not by myself in a dark room.
Hide behind me.
Playing Resident Evil 9. I'm intrigued by it, and I like the fact as well we've learned that you can play it in both first person and third person. And the rumor mill is that you're going to be able to play multiple characters as well. That we might have cameos, like Leon might be in it.
Cool.
With his flowing locks, and his roundhouse kicks. My problem I have is I hope it's not what Resident Evil 4 had, because Resident Evil 4 Remake was great, but I had such bad motion sickness with that game.
Yeah.
It was unreal, which is the other reason I'm reticent to buy this game, because I did have such terrible motion sickness with Resident Evil 4 that we couldn't complete the game. I played 20 minutes. Yeah, a video was made. I played 20 minutes of that game and I just wanted to throw up, really badly. Yeah. So if there's a demo, I probably would want to check out the demo first, right? To see if I can handle it or not before actually putting money down on this game. Because, I don't want to be getting motion sickness on stream. I can't think of anything worse than being sick on stream. No. So anyway, that's anything else that you want to talk about on Summer Game Fest?
Just because we were talking about trolling, the fact that the voice of Deadpool trolled us with Silksong for a second, and then was like, but it's my game, and then it ended up being VR and disappointing everyone.
Yeah, I was so disappointed when that was VR. It's like, a new Deadpool game, awesome. Oh shit, it's VR. Never mind then. It's just so disappointing. And the motion sickness, the game motion sickness. I can't think of a worse game than that. It's like, no, absolutely not. So let's move on to the Xbox Showcase then, because there were even more games. I thought the Xbox Showcase this year was very good. I thought it was very strong. And there was such a variety, and the pacing was great. It was like game after game after game after game after game. I thought they did a really good job with it. I'm just going to pick right off the bat my most excited game showcased, Blood of the Dawnwalker. God, I can't wait for that game. Coming out 2026, obviously from Rebel Wolves. I mean, the trailer itself, if you didn't know from the trailer, the music in the trailer and cinematography and everything else, this is made by one of the game directors for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and a lot of ex-CD Projekt Red developers are working on this game, moved across and made their own studio. I am so hankering. So there's two types of things I'm hankering for. It's good sci-fi and a good-ass vampire game.
They're rare these days.
They're so rare. And after the debacle that was Redfall, which is awful, and the development hell that Bloodlines seems Masquerade Bloodlines 2 seems to be going through. That game is never freaking coming out, honestly. I am so ready for Blood of the Dawnwalker. It looked great. We actually got to see some proper gameplay as well. And the wall walking, oh hell yeah!
Oh yeah!
Oh, the moment I saw him walking up the wall, I'm like, fucking sold! I'm sold. I can't wait for this game. I am so excited for this game, and the fact it's coming out in 2026 as well means it's a lot further on in development than I was thinking it was going to be. Right? So I mean, I'm all fine if you need to delay it, guys. You do what you got to do. I want this game to be right when it comes out, right? We don't want another Cyberpunk 2077 situation. Please take your time with it. Take all the time you need, but what is there looks so friggin' cool. And like, I made a video on it last year, and the concept of the world and the lore, and it's just fast. It's so interesting. Love it. I love the setting. I love how dark it is and gritty it is, you know, like dark fantasy kind of love it. Absolutely friggin' love it. And yeah, it looks great. It looks so good. And probably that I mean, as soon as I saw it, I mean, you saw my reaction. I'm sure I squeed. I'm pretty sure I squeed.
That's a wee bit of a squeeze.
I was so happy like when this got like shown. I was like, oh hell yeah, more of that. Yes please, thank you. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. Yeah, for sure.
That from Rebel Wolf Studio. This is a story-rich
yes, I'm really looking
RPG
forward to this game.
steeped in dark fantasy
I can't
that I
wait to see
can't
more
wait
about
for you
this
to
game.
explore.
I'm so looking forward to this game.
And enjoy the rest of the show.
Oh hell yeah, already this is like the best compared to the others. I am very excited for this game, guys. I really am.
Yeah, there were quite a lot of good ones. I'm
Yeah,
like going through the list, and I'm like, oh god, there's the really big obvious one, we'll leave that till later, but Beast of Reincarnation raised an eyebrow.
A big
that
eyebrow.
One from, Game Freak of Pokemon fame. Playing as Emma and Ku the dog running through ancient Japan, except there were mecha and stuff. It looked like Princess Mononoke and Stellar Blade had a baby.
Oh hell yes, that's exactly the perfect way to describe it. Princess Mononoke and Stellar Blade had a child, and it is this game. Yes.
It looks
perfect
nuts.
way to describe it.
I'd play that. I'm
it looked so good. It really did. I loved. I mean, the art style and the art direction, and I mean, I'm okay if the gameplay is as challenging as Stellar Blade, right? Like I really enjoyed Stellar Blade, and that is Souls light, right? But the combat and the responsiveness of that parry system was just so fucking satisfying. And so if it's as good as that, I mean, obviously, I know Game Freak have made other titles, right? Of course, they're more known for Pokemon. But have they made anything like this before? This kind of like third-person action.
No. I know. They did like a kind of cozy life sim jobby, which is more
very
like
different.
Animal Crossing.
Very
That old Giga Wrecker jobby, which was a side-scrolly puzzle game.
Right.
So yeah, this seems very different for them.
Very different style for them. Yeah, compared to what they've made before.
Outsourcing or how they have been working with other companies. To
make although I did look at like the credits on it, and it did say it was like Game Freak Inc. right, that made it. I mean, obviously Game Freak, I mean, they're not a massive studio considering you know, the fact that they're responsible for Pokemon. They should be much bigger, but it just goes to show you that like when you give developers time to cook, right, and to make something that they actually are inspired to make, they can make some good stuff, right? Like, you know, and we always give Game Freak a hard time, you know, because obviously, you know, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet released so buggy, and those games look like they're 20 years old. You know, the graphics in them are shocking, the programming and the frame rate issues that they've been having on the Switch.
You know you can do better. Look at what Monolith Soft are doing.
Better, yeah. And I think one of the biggest things that we forget is it's not the developers that are making those decisions. It's the leadership. It's the people at the top. It's the Pokemon company that's saying this game has to be out this year or next year. It has to release. And so they're just not giving enough time to cook or to... Arceus was the first time I saw them do something really unique and really exciting. So I'm so happy to see something new and something different from them. And I really hope that people give this a shot and send a fucking message, right? Which is like, you know, let them make what they want to make, right? And what they're inspired to make. And the idea of a post-apocalyptic Japan, so cool. I love that concept. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. It looked really good. The other one, obviously, I'm very interested in is Residence: A Plague Tale Legacy, which I did not see coming. Like that hit me completely from left field. Like, because I've played a Plague Tale Innocence and a Plague Tale Requiem, both of which are fabulous games, by the way, and I highly recommend that you play them. Both from Asobo Studios, and that you know, Alicia and Hugo's you know story is very much quite neatly tied up, right, in a bow, so to speak. So their story is definitely done, but I really did not see that there was more scope in that world, which I guess there is, because you learn a lot in Requiem that really does broaden the lore and the scope of it. Very interesting. And so like to see this, which is a prequel basically, I read somewhere, I think it was on Steam, that it's set like 15 years before the events of Requiem. And that the main character you play is called Sophia, and I think she's like some kind of like pirate mercenary or something like that, and she goes to the Minotaur's island, but there's going to be like flashes to the past, which is I think what we've seen with the Romans, you know, and stuff like that. But from the sounds of it, because in Plague Tale, like, it is for all intents a stealth action game, right? Because you know, Alicia and Hugo, like they're very weak, like they can't fight the soldiers. And obviously Hugo's got his powers, you know, to use the rats and everything, so it is very much like stealth action, whereas from everything I've been reading about this, it sounds much more action, right? Action focused, parrying and attacking and things like that. Apparently there's some kind of beast or creature or something on the island that's like hunting you or something like that. Anyway, apparently it is going to tie in to the lore. I'm fascinated. I really want to see where it's going to go, so I'm very, very interested. And that's coming out in 2026.
Not just the Minotaur and the maze then.
No. Well, there will be a Minotaur, likely, or something of the equivalent, and a maze, probably something of the equivalent. But looks interesting anyway. Looks really, really good. So yeah, I'm very excited to see more, and I'm kind of glad that the next. I like the fact that Asobo and all their like female protagonist, right? Like it was the same in the voice actress for Alicia in Requiem was just
she was good,
phenomenal,
and that was just the first game. I've still
you need to play the second one, because my god, she elevates it just to the whole next level. But yeah, just so good, really, really good.
Cool. What else was there? At Fate's End.
That looked gorgeous.
Yeah, which also reminds me, Thunder Lotus Games. I haven't played Spiritfarer yet. I've had that.
I own it.
On the backlog.
I own it, and I haven't played it either. Yep.
I know. I ended up getting it for like the PS4.
Apparently, it's supposed to be an absolute masterpiece. Apparently, it's supposed to be gorgeous. Quite clever in its writing. Quite emotionally, like resonant kind of thing in its writing. So, but At Fate's End looked really interesting. Like, the art style's gorgeous.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting, because it kind of came off a bit Metroidy, but it seemed like the boss fights were tighter, if you know what I mean. Like kind of. Yeah,
but also like it looked like with the boss fights, it just wasn't just combat. Like there were certain like conflicts which were like dialogue conflicts as well.
Yeah, so because it's all based on like the family tree and like.
Like you're fighting your family.
Yeah, and it's up to if you're going to defeat them or reconcile with them
or whatever.
With Shan's relatives. So it could be quite interesting. They all seem to be pulling swords out of various body parts, and that parrying that big massive one as well. That looked hilarious.
Oh yeah, it looked awesome. God of War style. Looked really good.
I parried a nuke.
Yeah, it looked really, really good. Yeah. That looked gorgeous. Yeah.
Interested.
Very much so. Obviously, the big one, which we got the reveal and the direct at the end, obviously, is the Outer Worlds 2. That is looking great. Like, it's looking great. It's just looking like more of the Outer Worlds, but more refined, which was fun. I love the writing in the first game. I really love Obsidian's writing. And again, that sci-fi fix is what I'm wanting, but it's almost like dystopian sci-fi, like far future sci-fi, pop culture sci-fi, kind of thing. Corporations and stuff. But this is saying it's not just the corporations, like they're going to go down other avenues and stuff, and it's set in like a new system. New characters, new crew, which is cool. I wonder if we'll get like head nods to the previous game or not. Like,
Mm.
we get to hear about like what happened or whatever. If you got the bad ending and flew your ship into the sun or whatever. But I like what they were showing, obviously, to see that the same kind of like RPG systems are coming back. So being able to really build your character. I like the perk system. I like the weaknesses system. You know, they're always fun. Like you know, if you're like if you're doing a stealth build, like if you're doing it too much and then you get up and your knees crack, right, kind of thing. That made me properly laugh out loud. So I like stuff like that. You know, choosing what perks and what weaknesses to take on, and like I mean, you did a dumb build, didn't you, on the first playthrough? A melee dumb build, and it was hilarious. And the dialogue options. I hope there'll be more choice and consequence, you know, in this game. I wonder if it'll be similar, same kind of scope, because I liked the Outer Worlds because it didn't overstay its welcome. It didn't bloat for bloating's sake, you know what I mean? Like a lot of you know RPGs do nowadays. It was a very focused experience, about 30 to 40 hour, perfect for me for that. So, but the Outer Worlds 2 looks good, and the guns and it just looks great. It looks really good. I'm wondering if I'm going to go down a different build because I think I went for a stealth hacking build in my first playthrough. So I don't know if I'm going to do similar build or do something completely different. I kind of want to try something totally different. I feel like that kind of game, it's like you get more out of multiple playthroughs, right? With it, you know, and trying different things and testing different systems. So I feel almost like for reviewing it, you almost want to play it more than the once, you know what I mean? To really give a full kind of deep dive on it. But God, it looked good. It looks so good. And like honestly, Obsidian's insane this year. Like between like Avowed and then the Outer Worlds 2 and then also Grounded 2 coming out in the same year. It seems a bit spread it out a little bit, guys. It's fine, you know. Grounded 2 I feel like could have come out next year, you know.
Don't know when they started each project, but
I mean they're definitely separate teams, and Obsidian's pretty big now, I think. So obviously they're totally different teams working on it, but look good.
Oh, what else was there? Oh, I wanted to give a little shout out to the intro to the Super Meat Boy 3D thing. Because you were like, what? Mario game?
Mario? What? Hold on, Nintendo lawyers are coming. I was a little bit like,
The reference of the green pipe coming out of the ground was to Mario 64, Mario's first 3D outing. So it was like, it's Super Meat Boy's 3D outing. Right, okay.
Yeah. Which was clever. I like that little head nod.
Yeah, the 2D games were insane enough. It being in 3D, I think my brain would break. I'm not sure.
It looked gorgeous. It looked crisp. It looked really good. I mean, it would have to be, you know, because it's that kind of like you know, minute. Like you've got to be perfect, you know, like on your timings, pixel perfect jumping.
You're gonna have your meat guts spread everywhere.
You're gonna die a lot, which is part of the fun, you know, of getting it just right. But it looked gorgeous. I think it'd be a fun game to stream, you know, because it definitely looked nice. So it looked really nice. Also, really happy to see that we're getting DLC for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. So we're getting the Order of the Giants, which is coming out on the 4th of September. Loved the base game. Loved it. It was right up there. I think it was in my top 3, top 4 games of last year.
So well done.
So well done. Honestly, just such a homage to the movies, and going back to Rome, which is where this begins. You know, probably won't stay in Rome. You know, this is Indiana Jones, of course. It's going to be going wherever, but like it just looked great, and like. Yeah, like the Order of the Giants is like, it was covered in the base game, but not really expanded upon as much as it could have been. So I'm interested to find out more and to play more. I'm just excited to be back in that game because it's just great, which you need to finish. You definitely need to finish. There's on your list. Yeah. Finish Claire Obscure first, and then finish Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
Lost in Random.
And then Lost in Random, exactly. It looks great. Looks really good. So that was cool. Mudang Two Hearts was interesting from a Korean developer. Stealth action thriller game is what they're calling it. Set in modern Japan. I think there's like a K-pop star and you
Yeah.
also play you play both characters, so you can play as the K-pop star as well as like this like seasoned veteran soldier,
North Korean soldier,
soldier or whatever. And apparently like someone's trying to assassinate her or assassinate something. They're trying to, it's something to do with the reunification of North and South Korea, and someone's trying to stop that happening, and you have to get to the bottom of it. Like this team, like it looked phenomenal, like honestly. It looked almost too good to be true. I think that's why a lot of people are a little bit like, this is their first outing and they've made this. But then I would say to you, look at Claire Obscure Expedition 33, right?
Exactly.
Like just because it's their first outing doesn't mean it's not going to be phenomenal. You know what I mean? Especially with the new power of the Unreal Engine 5. There's so many tools at developers hands now that can just allow them to make something on a AAA quality standard, right? I hate that AAA because right now AAA does not equate to quality in my books. It just means nothing anymore. But it's that kind of level of like, oh, you've got to have like funding behind you and thousands of developers behind you. No, you don't, right? You just have to have a really good vision, good tools at your disposal, and talented developers, right? And honestly, it's great to see so much coming from Korea, from South Korea. Like Stellar Blade was one of my favorite games that came out last year, and that was from a Korean studio. And I'm so happy to see that it's blown up on PC, which makes I'm delighted by that. So just because it's their first debut game doesn't mean it's necessarily, it doesn't mean that that's a warning sign, so I want to see more, you know what I mean, because obviously the trailer was very curated, right, in what it was showing, obviously in terms of the gameplay.
Oddly reminded me of like Splinter Cell's co-op, like Mercs versus. So I don't know why. I just got those vibes from it for some reason.
It definitely had some elements of Splinter Cell, like when he was like climbing up the pipe, right, and like dropping down, and like the gear he was wearing. It definitely has elements of Splinter Cell. And obviously Ubisoft are not delivering on that at the moment, you know what I mean? So I'm fine if Korea want to deliver on the next Splinter Cell-esque experience. That's fine with me, So yeah, that looked really, really good.
Mudang's apparently based on a webtoon, so I might try and look that up later, see what it's about.
Spoilers, yeah, maybe.
Oh, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not read
spoilers.
Too much,
maybe not read too much. Lots of spoilers. The biggest showcase for me. Well, before we get to it, let's talk about the ROG Xbox Ally before we get to the final game, right? So, yeah, obviously there was a lot of rumors going around about Xbox's next handheld. I'm not surprised to see that it's a partnership, right, with ROG Ally. Like if this pans out to be what they're saying it is going to be, it's massive. A handheld that can play Xbox Game Pass games, your Steam library, your Epic Games Store library, right? Like the ability like to be it's carrying a handheld PC around with you is what it is. The only issue that a lot of like the ROG Ally has had before this one is the battery life, right? Is shocking on it. Apparently it's very powerful, more powerful than the Steam Deck, but because of all the crap running in the background, especially with Windows 11, your battery life just drains massively. You're lucky if it lasts more than an hour or two. So they've got to get that right, and they didn't really show, like, I know some people got hands on with it at Summer Game Fest, and they said it felt really comfortable, to hold. Apparently, because there's two versions of it, obviously. I will definitely, if I'm gonna get it, I definitely would get the higher level version, because it's got the more powerful processor, the bigger hard drive space on it. And stuff like that, but there's no pricing as to how much it's going to cost. I imagine it's going to be quite an expensive piece of tech, but we didn't actually see any games running on it. They showed like Silksong as one of the playable games on it, hinting that it'll be coming out with it. Apparently it's got a rough holiday 2025 release window. Sure. But the key is going to be the pricing, like how much they're going to price it at. But to have a handheld device that can play like Steam, Xbox Xbox Game Pass and Epic Game Store games on it. And
if it can actually play them all as well,
that's
not just like
massive. That's huge. You know what I mean? That is really big, and that is a huge threat, I think, to Valve. Because obviously Valve at the moment, it's a great piece of kit, but you can only play Steam games on it. You know, so you know, you can turn it into a PC, but it just doesn't. Yeah, exactly. And not all of them are run on it. So yeah, like, watch this space. That's all I'm gonna say. But I think it is going to depend on price point. I think that's going to be a big thing for a lot of people. I was considering like selling my Steam Deck and getting an OLED, but I'm not now. I'm going to hold off on it because if this ends up being a better piece of kit and I can play my other games handheld, like if like say for example, I do have a flare up on my shoulder, which means I can't play at my PC. Well, I can just take my ROG Xbox Ally downstairs and just play downstairs in the comfort of the sofa, right, with my cushions around me. Perfect, right? So it may well be a good investment for me for the future, but obviously we'll just have to wait and see. The final game though I need to talk about, which for me this should have been the last game that Xbox showcased. Why? Of course I knew of course they were going to show Call of Duty 6, Black Ops 6, which when that trailer started, I was like, dude, this looks cool. This is kind of robot sci-fi. It looks kind of cool. Reminds me a bit of Detroit Becomes Human, you know, in its kind of style. And I'm like, cool. Excited. That looks good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that. And then the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 logo came out, like, no interest. Just died a death straight away. We know that we're going to get a Call of Duty game. That's a given, right? That should be somewhere in the middle of your presentation, you know, to give that head nod to Activision. But like, this game should have been the final game showcase, which was the most impressive game I think shown at the showcase. It was like a 5-minute trailer, which was Clockwork Revolution, which has massively jumped up on my sort of most anticipated list. This trailer was so good.
The trailer from yonks ago, which was more timey-wimey based, made it look good.
Yeah.
And then when this came on, I was like, oh, this is like that other game. And it's like, it's the same game.
It's the same game. It's just awesome. And like, it's just the vibes of it were just so awesome. Like really like steampunk RPG. It definitely had elements of Outer Worlds meets Dishonored meets like
general Bethesda games.
but it just looked so good. But like the tone was great, the writing was funny, the characters as they were introducing them was super interesting. And then when you got to see the gameplay of it, like the gunplay looked fabulous. The RPG like such a creative way of showing the character creator, right? And creating your own unique character, showing some of the dialogue options and dialogue trees, and then obviously throwing in, oh, by the way, yes, there is going to be some timey-wimey. You're going to control time, right? You're going to be able to rewind time and things like that. So yeah, like honestly, this was the show stealer for me. That should have been at the end for me. Whoever made the decision to put Call of Duty at the end was an idiot, because this should have been at the end. It would have been the perfect way to finish the showcase, right? But yeah, it just looked phenomenal. So I thought Xbox's showcase was really good. Generally, I thought this year's Summer Game Fest I quite enjoyed it, you know. There was a good variety. I really enjoyed streaming them. Obviously, I hurt for it after, whatever. It is what it is. But I really enjoyed being back streaming, and, you know, thank you to everybody who tuned in and watched the streams with me live. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for choosing to do that here. Well, I suffered for the games, basically. Also the fans, but mostly for the games. But yeah, like, I really enjoyed it. And I thought there was a lot of really exciting, good-looking stuff this year. And I'm very much looking forward to the next 6 months and into 2026. Like, my backlog is just It's never going to go down, is it? It's just some really good looking games, which is awesome. So yeah. So anyway, share what you guys think in the comments section below. Let us know what you guys are looking forward to, which games you were interested in from the 3 showcases. Please do share those in the comments section below. Let's get a discussion going. Thank you so much for listening. This has become much longer than I was expecting it would be.
Yep.
But it's fine. I guess we did all 3, so it's all nice, condensed, long sort of podcast that you can just listen to. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, everybody. Don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. You know what to do by now. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Hope you guys are having a great week, of course. Take care, and as always, happy gaming. As you can.
Johnny.